Hello fellow Tamers, DJ on the mic, and in this video we're going to be gazing at my fresh new mat, but I've got awesome news guys. We got first place using the armor rush that I've been eager to share with you. So in this video we're going to be going over the additional spice that is hella nice because it's got some EX2 goodness, and we're actually sacked off Fire Rocket guys because we got DJ plugin, another one coming in. And is absolutely being a boy for this deck, especially for my armors to be popping off, cleaving through those security checks, and also some nice sweet tech using rookies as well. So if this is the video for you as I break down my tech ratios, all that good stuff, then make sure you stick around and enjoy it. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure that you subscribe and turn the notification bell, because I do videos on the reg, you better believe. And we got some stats guys, we got some stats. Over 90% of viewers ain't subscribed. So if you don't want me to come around with my armor deck and serve you the lunch, you better go hit that subscription button. So enough of the jokes, let's go to the profile. Okay, over to the eggs, short and sweet. We start off with the 4 Oopers. You already know the drill. Oopers is really good, standard blue egg, because when attacking once per turn, if your opponent has no cards with Digivolution sources underneath them, then get to trigger 1. Always good for that nice bit of draw. This is a combo deck, so draw is highly crucial. And then we're going on with the 1 Charmon. This is actually really good because it gives you all turns. While this Digimon is a level 4, get 1000 DP. Absolutely fantastic. Really good for Flamedramon because it actually knocks him over to 9k when he's actually attacking, which actually swings over the Pyldramon, which is really good because you don't want that boy stepping out of line, especially when facing off with Imp. So that is the eggs. Over to the rookies. For the rookies, we run 15, starting off with the standard 4 of the Jamming V. This is the key card in this deck because it helps just with you being so aggressive. It is unreal. But the thing that's really good with this particular deck build using the EX2 cards is that the offensive plugin, if you have a Tamer out on the field, you can actually pop it on your Vmon, making sure that you can get those additional security checks before you even evo into an armor. So definitely massive potential for you doing 4 checks beautifully with just this awesome power play. And if you obviously got your Hammer Sparks, you got your blue memory boost there chilling in the wings, you could pretty much claim game relatively quickly with the right setup. So this is the reason why you're in 4, definitely crucial, especially if you do have an armor on top of him, means that those checks are going to go through when the armor pops off. Then we go in with the ST8 Vmon. So this is actually crucial for you to kind of get your cards, get your pieces, because of the inheritable when attacking. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, trigger draw 1, and this is not a once per turn, so really good in combination using it when you have obviously Upamon underneath. You're just getting 2 cards, which you just setting up the plays beautifully. So definitely a 3 of right there. You can pump it to 4, it's really up to you. And the last of the inheritable bunch is going to be your EX1 Vmon, which enables you to get an additional memory when your Digimon becomes unsuspended. So really good when you are evoing into, you know, your Magnamon if you've already swung. Reduces the cost, so it costs 2 instead of 3. Really helpful right there. Can obviously just help with those nice combo plays as well. But we've got other cards that help unsuspend as well. We do run XVmon in this build, which is fantastic because then XVmon essentially just can either gain you a memory or reduce the cost of XVmon's evo, so it only costs 1 depending on the situation. Then we go into the main searches. So we're going with the ST9 Vmon. So with this on play, reveal top 3, add a card with 3 in its traits, which is just really good. Enables you to kind of search out your rookies, which is handy. And, you know, you can also search out your dual color armors and all that good stuff. Then lastly, we do run the 3 of the BT8 Vmon, which enables you to search top 4 and add 1 2-color card with blue to your hand. So this could be your Tamer, can be your option like Megadeth, because it's definitely helpful getting Megadeth in hand. Enables you to just get rid of big threats, but also great for just for you to kind of get your combo pieces if you want your Flamedramon, Lightramon, or your Magnamon it's really good. And this card's going to be obviously staple when it comes to BT9 when you get that Magnamon X, because it is a dual color and fits quite well, and Magnamon X doesn't class as a free type, so this definitely is going to be being bumped up to 4 for sure. But for right now, 3 is just a suitable amount and works really well. So that is the rookies. Let's go to the champs. Champions, run 15. Starting off with one of the crucial cards is going to be your 4 Digimon. Digimon is such a great card in this deck because, one, we're able to bank some memory if we do have Davis and Ken out on the field and we just get this in raising. It just assures us that we're going to be getting that 2 memory, and if we got Davis out as well, it means we're getting 5. 5 memory in this deck is crazy. It's enough for me to pop off successfully, especially if I've got, you know, my Hammer Sparks chilling out there ready to pop off. Another thing with Digimon, you're able to suspend a level 4 or lower Digimon on Digivolve, which is great. Enables you to kind of get rid of some key pieces. So if the opposition, if I'm facing Imp, I can get rid of their XVmon, can get rid of their Stingmon. If I'm versing Mastermon, I can get rid of their Gatomon. Really powerful card, and that's the reason why you run 4 of. Then we go into Flamedramon. Flamedраmon's pretty much self-explanatory, mostly your main aggressor card, because when attacking you're able to get 3k DP, which is stackable, so it's really strong, especially in this deck build as well. I've got ways to unsuspend Digimon, enables you to kind of build up that DP for you to get over big things. So this is the reason why you should definitely run this at 4 for sure. Then lastly, of the armors, we do run the 4 Magnamon. Magnamon is such a powerful card in this deck, main boss monster, because it just does so much. It's a blocker, it's got armor page as standard, and obviously when digivolving, depending on how many armors you got in trash, you're able to get 2000 additional 2000 DP, which just makes Magnamon such an unkillable fiend, especially when it comes to mid-range to kind of like your long games. There, the amount of times I got this boy up to like 21k is crazy, but really good card. But the thing with this actual deck build, how I've made it, is that I can be aggressive and defensive at the same time, because we do run the XVmon at 2, and I feel like this is probably the most slept on card in armors, because when digivolving you can unsuspend a level 4 or lower Digimon. This is absolutely fantastic because I can just unsuspend any of my armors, making sure I can go for additional swing. If I've obviously got plugging on one of them, it just means I can really just swing again and go for those additional checks. It helps with my DNA plays when I'm kind of got my Digimon and then my XVmon, but it means I can actually get an additional swing with a Digimon and then go into my Paildramon. So really fantastic cards. Do not sleep on this boy. That's why you run it at 2. And then we finish off with the what trip for game. It's got to be the Lobomon on deck. Obviously, it just secures wins. If you've just got the Tamer setup, which this deck is all about that Tamer setup, then Lobomon for game comes up more times than not. So, that is my champions. Let's go over to my one ultimate. Ultimate, blame. Paildramon at 1. That is literally it. It's quite funny how the one of always seems to be on your hand. It's like when you're facing off with like in Paildramon players, they always have the HBD. It's always there. And this is no different. The amount of times I've always got Paildramon is just fantastic. I've got ways to search it out. I've got the Vmon that can search dual colors. But Paildramon is such an aggressor card just because obviously on DNA I'm able to bottom deck one of their Digimon as 6k or less, which is just fantastic, and then I'll be able to swing additional 2 times there as well. So really strong. The thing that I've got with this deck is obviously I've got to run some other plugins, which just kind of helps him stay alive, because the thing that is risky with like DNA in this particular build is that there's a lot of resource that I'm sacrificing. I'm losing the protection of armor. So yeah, ideally, if I'm going into this play, I need to make sure that A, it's kind of roundabout like the last checks, or I've got a way to keep this boy protected. That is the ultimate. Let's go over to the options and Tamers. For the options and Tamers, I run 19 in total. Quite a hefty package right there, but because it's a rookie rush kind of build, you need bombs. You need bombs in that security, or something to keep the consistency up in this deck. So starting off with the plugins, let's go and break those down, because these are pretty much the new additions that we have added into this deck, and I feel like this adds so much more value in comparison to the fire rockets that I did have, just because of the security. Nothing is more infuriating than fire rocket being in security, because the main win condition is being super aggressive with your additional security checks. No point of seeing that in security and deleting a blocker being in the text when barely anything's a blocker in this format, and they're never a blocker 24/7. So it's just really frustrating, and then it just goes to the trash. Obviously there's chances where you're going to be doing your searches and you're going to be bottom decking your main aggressor card. With the offensive plugin, as long as you have a Tamer out in field, you can just play this card straight off. Obviously for us, we do run Flame Digimon, so we can actually use this because he is a red. So really helpful there, in order for us to kind of still be aggressive outside of the condition of the actual having a Tamer in play. But just having an additional security check for additional cost of 1, but it is the security effect. So reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card amongst them to your hand, and then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck, and then you're able to add this card to your hand. This is what I like. You're adding that to hand, so it enables you to kind of have that nice aggressive play when it's your turn. That is the reason why I bumped this up to 3, because I'd rather pay the extra memory and have that assurance that A, I can either get this and a Tamer, send some big plays right there, and be hyper aggressive, than just me bottom decking my source. As well, it enables me to put it on a rookie or any Digimon. It's not conditional to having it on a armor. I can actually put it on Vmon, which is just so much value you would not believe. If you've got the right Tamer setup, you can just play offensive plugin, going for a swing, then suspend your Davis and Ken to then slap another armor on, and then go for another swinger. That's 4 checks right there. So I feel like I'm getting more aggression and just not being tied to having an armor out. So this is why I do run this at 3. People may disagree, but I'm all about minimizing risk, and I'd rather have the worth of it coming out of security and being added to hand. Then we go in with a high speed plugin, which is another fantastic card, because this enables you to gain jamming, but your opponent can't block you. Really helpful. This has actually come super clutch when I actually face off with D Reaper, because they can put themselves with blocker. Yes, I'm on about you, Ash. Ash, if you're watching this, I'm on about you. he put a Zumagon punch on Mother, and I was like, oh my god, I can't even. Basically, he's just stolen here. But luckily enough, I had this bad boy, which enabled me to still be aggressive and answer that move that he played. So I think running this at 1 really handy, especially with Pale Ultramon. Means I can actually just slap jamming on it and kind of go for those swings, and I can't be blocked, so it means that I'm going to be securing game. Obviously I could bump into an option and absolutely get clapped that way, but I do feel like high speed plugin is really sweet. Also on the security, I get to just draw 1, so technically I'm getting 2 cards, which once again keeps up that beautiful consistency and getting absolute worth. So that is it for the EX2 Spice. Then we go in with the nice consistency of Blue Memory Boost. You already know what it is. Play it, able to search top 4 and get a blue card amongst them, and then delay effect, able to essentially pop this and gain into memory. Really good for those nice power plays, especially if you do have your offensive plugin there chilling. Essentially you're getting that off for free, so really good and really helpful just in terms of just kind of unbricking. Regionals taught me that when you can't play Digimon, it's not fun at all, and when you brick, it's really not fun because you just watch the opposition just set up. So 2 blue memory boosts, I swear by it. I'm still gonna run it in when BT9 comes in. Consistency is key. Enabling you to have additional memory just banked up for you to pop when you need it is just so good. Then we run the 2 armor texture, once again combo extender. We've got great ways to extend our combos. We do have obviously the XV, which kind of works in opposite in a sense. We're not switching armors, but we're able to kind of evo on top of our rookie underneath, which is good. With this, it just helps us kind of switch those armors up in order to get those combos, especially if you once again still do under the effect of the offensive plugin. Then staples, we're running the hammer spark. We're only running 2, but 2 is just enough in this build because obviously we do have the blue memory boost, which is just more stockpiling that memory more than just able to kind of pop that memory. But obviously a great bomb in security. I mean, hammer spark, we've all been triggered by hammer spark. Then we do run the 1 ice wall. Beautiful card just to kind of stop the aggression from the opposition. Actually came super clutch in my last game facing my boy Mark. Pound the alarm. Really helpful, and obviously once again has a similar effect of hammer spark in security. Then you gotta run the Megadeth at 3. Megadeth is one of those cards I always have in hand. Always having that first turn, Megadeth secured. I'm like, right, I got a way to get rid of the opposition because you're able to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the owner's hand. So really good if they've kind of got like got essentially 2 Digimon out. They've already swung with 1, and then they're swinging they swung with 1. Then it actually triggers this insecurity. Then you can suspend the other one and then bounce whichever one you want, which is just really great value right there. Megadeth searchable off your Vmon BT8, which is just handy. Really good card, such great value there as well at 5. Then onto the Tamers. Let me make some room. So Tamers, we do run your 3 Davis and Ken. Honestly, this card cracked. So good, especially with this build. It's just the value for it is just fantastic. So at the start of your main phase, if you've got a Digimon with blue, then you're able to gain 1 memory, and the same thing for green. And obviously if you've got both, then you get 2 memory, which is just great. And this is why Digimon is just such a staple, because it just helps you just get that 2 memory, especially comboed up with the other Tamer being your Davis, which I'm currently running at 2. So then with this Davis and Ken, you're able to essentially restand a Digimon which has digivolved with 2 with 2 colors. So obviously with this whole premise of the armors, it does have 2 colors in there, on the card. So really good for you to be hyper aggressive. Obviously if you've got the defensive plugin, absolutely sweet. If you've got high speed plugin, means you've got jamming. So really such great value for just kind of extending those combo plays. You've got 3 ways of comboing. You've got your Tamer, you've got armor texture, and you've got Vmon, which is just so much worth and really brings the aggression out in this deck. And then with the 2 Davis, I feel the thing with Davis is that it is a great consistency card, but that is literally it. It just searches top 3, that's it. And I feel like in this deck, this is more valuable than this, but I do appreciate having the memory settler out right there. So this is the reason why, obviously with the offensive plugin, if this does trick out in security, if I do draw my 3 cards and get a Tamer, really good value there. And that actually happened in one of my games. Pop that, I got the option. Imagine if that was Fire Rocket. Ooh, better blow that blocker. Where they be at? So I was able to kind of pick out what I needed, and obviously due to only having 2 in his deck, I was like, I'm gonna go for one Davis. So Davis, always gonna be a staple card in blue. Really fantastic memory setup, able to kind of get those key cards. helps me out if I manage to bump into like a pile Digimon and I do get a light Digimon. Means I can get both of those, which is good because you are able to reveal top 3 and get an add 1 blue and green, being the crucial thing, and not or. So really good card. So that is the full breakdown. Hope you guys loved it. Let's go over to the final thoughts. There you have it, guys. Armor Rush EX2 deck profile for you. First place. Let me tell you, the games were so freaking tense. Like, oh man, the last game was just an absolute nail biter. It could have been anyone's game. Could have literally been anyone's game. But we did manage to take it, and yeah, it was just a nice back and forth. Mega Death Insecurity, freaking, I think in all games, like Mega Death Insecurity, it's just such a good card. Just getting rid of that big boy, especially Pile Digimon, the aggression that Digimon can push out. Facing Armor Rush is just not the worth, but Magnamon, the boy just stopping that aggression, came in clutch. The MVP of like most games was just Evo into this boy and just having just like the Digimon that they can't bounce or can't, you know, suspend. It's just so good. But it does require, you know, quite a few armors in trash for that to actually be, you know, can kind of prevent those from happening, especially when they do go into the fighter mode. That's where it can definitely be a bit tricky because I've got to be over 10k. So very hard for that to kind of always be achieved, especially obviously with the massive amount of speed that Digimon can get. They can just get into fire mode pretty easily, especially if they've got that HPD. They've got all that going on, which is just never great. Offensive plugin. I'm happy that 1, I upped it to 3 than 2, because originally I did have it at 2 and I did have the green plugin, but I felt like the green plugin was very situational. The reason why I did initially have it in was to actually reduce the cost of Magnamon, making him 2 costs, and then enable me to essentially draw 2 cards, one from the Evo, and then one for obviously just playing the green card there as well, which I just felt like it wasn't massively amount of worth having that in. The main premise is just having that nice aggressor card in there, being obviously this. So I'm definitely happy that I upped it to 3. It was definitely nice to see this in hand. Paying that additional memory can somewhat at times be a little bit wounding, but it was good to see this insecurity and enable me to actually get it in hand. Like, nothing's more sad just getting Fire Rock Insecurity and just going to trash. Like, that's not the way. That's not the worth. So I needed to stop that. I'd just rather have that, pay the cost for security, pay the cost for me ensuring I can actually pop off. Because it has happened a lot where I ran it. There was times I ran it at 4, and I can either be just flooded with them, or every time I do a search, I bottom deck them, which is just so annoying. Or they're all in my security, which is even worse when you're facing off with decks that can just plow through your security easily. So definitely the way I would strongly recommend it if you're frustrated with Fire Rocket just not being in the place where it needs to be. Really good card. And the thing that I like about offensive plugin, they're just slotting everywhere, and it's just good. Like, you can just literally give anyone a security attack +1, because if you're not playing a Tamer in your deck, you're going into Choke City. They will choke you out. If you're versing D-Reaper, they will choke you out 1 every turn. every time they pass turn, they will choke. They will do their best effort to choke you out 1. And if they don't choke you out 1, they've either played flipping Gatekeeper, which is just gonna really mess up your day completely. Just, you know, giving you a minus security check, which is just not great. Or they've popped something. So definitely staple, and I'm absolutely loving having this in my deck. So my matches were essentially Imp, some form of like security control, but it's kind of a different breed, and then the imp there as well. So the first imp game, that was quite tense. Lucky enough, I did manage to kind of get my combo pieces up pretty nicely. Magnamon once again came clutch, just securing, just kind of being defensive and just stopping the aggressive plays from the opposition. Really good. The Setcon kind of yellow build, I felt that I definitely had some luck on my side. I'm not going to lie, because the opposition just essentially he just bricked. Well, not bricked in a way, but like bricked in a sense that the cards that work well facing me, he had to essentially bottom deck, which is just never great, because obviously with armors, we can armor purge if we do get deleted, and we can armor purge, but anything DP reducing, we can't armor purge that. So having to bottom deck those crucial option cards really does probably make it quite challenging to get rid of my board. And then obviously it's just kind of essentially just building up my armors for me to go to Magnamon to then swing big, and then that's a mon that you can't really answer, just because the DP threshold has just got so large at that point. It's just difficult to kind of remove, and that's what I was kind of slightly playing into. Well, it's the only option I kind of had to play into. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to be sacking off a lot of my armors, but as long as I can just get my aggressive plays out, hopefully I can try and kind of win the game. And it did manage to kind of get the combo play up, because it did provide me with a lot of memory to perform it. And then the last match was just tense. It was a nice back and forth, mega death on mega death. It was just absolute, yeah, carnage. It was carnage. Definitely a tense game. Really fun match though. Absolutely fun game. It's always banter with me and Mark. So it was very tense. I think the memorable plays that I had, and there was kind of one bad play that I did, was I think I was either sat at like 8 or 7, and I just went with an absolute aggressive play, like waiting with my Pildrum on. I only had to do like 2 swings in order to win games, so it was literally, if he didn't have anything over to 8k in security, I would have won. Went for the swing in Pildrum on, and that was just like, I should not have been aggressive. That was me being too thirsty on that. I could have rebuilt my board, but I think I didn't really have that many. I don't think I had that many armors to kind of build up a nice board that's going to keep me alive, which is never great. It's never great at all. Definitely didn't have Magnamon. Definitely didn't have any form of Beamon that could search off. So it was a matter of, it was going to be top decking a lot of stuff, and I don't think I drew into that many good key cards, and that could have somewhat saved me at that point. So went with the aggressive play, got myself bodied, which wasn't great. And then the last round was Magnamon once again came in clutch, being the blocker, but luckily I was just over the threshold to not get bounced by fighter mode, which definitely helped me something fierce. Which yeah, just 1k above that bounce range, which is good, and then I did manage to take the win from there. But guys, that's enough of me waffling. Let me know what you think to the deck profile. If there's any questions, just drop it in the comment right there. If I didn't go over anything, or if you do require further information, I'm more than happy to kind of break it through. But once again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Really helps out a lot. Do want to kind of hit the 200 mark, and I think it'll kind of encourage me to be more consistent. But guys, stay safe, stay fly. I'll catch you next one. That's your boy Digidread, off the mic.